Hey, Mark and Joey here on a Wednesday morning, and we're once again in the middle of the week, and that means golf. And we're talking about the PGA, obviously, here as we move into what would normally be considered an off week, minor event. All the big guys are resting, but this is probably the biggest tournament of the year for everybody. Let's say 75th place and higher, who are working hard to get either into the FedEx Cup or improve their positioning, whatever it may be. So it actually takes a week where you'd think you could almost skip it and turns it in maybe to the most exciting event of the year.
I tell you, we've watched it the last couple of years. It is heart-wrenching. It's the most exciting event there is. And really, this actually means more, believe it or not, than a Brooks Koepka winning, because the guys, it's their livelihood here. They're trying to stay on the big tour here and not have to go back down and re-qualify, which, by the way, has got to be hurtful because you work so hard to get there. Yeah. I know the grind I'm in right now. And they get there, and then they'll only lose your car to go back down to the lower tours. So this is actually the most important week emotionally, physically, and mentally for these guys. There's so many on the bubble trying to keep their dreams going without having to go back down and re-qualify to come back up next year. This means more than Brooks Koepka winning or Jordan Spieth winning or Rory. Trust me, this is something else.
Well, this kind of event for sure. And I know in the last couple of years, we've watched guys with 10-footers on 18. And going in puts them in the FedEx Cup. Going out means they're going down to the web.com Final Four.
Even for other people. Like you'll see if this guy makes a putt and this guy's out and this guy's in and
it's like the final week in the NFL. Every win,
and it might be someone like Spieth making a putt though just to move his position in the tournament, affecting a guy that he doesn't even know who might be losing his card or getting his card. It is something else. It is a lot of fun to watch, but also heart-wrenching at the end of the day. But it's a tournament made of kind of guys you won't know, but you'll get emotionally attached to some of these moments. They'll be insane.
I agree 100%, and it's a week to watch. Even though lots of weeks you may not watch Saturday, Sunday golf if it's a soft week with the event. This is one that's a really important one to a lot of guys. There'll be a lot of great golf happening. There'll be a lot of exciting things happening at the same time. A lot of sadness happening for some of the guys. So anyway, we're going to make our picks today. One of the things I wanted to mention from the last time, last week particularly, is that if you're playing and you are wagering, which has become a very big thing in the game of golf, is wagering. Obviously, wagering around the world is becoming bigger and bigger, and ever since the States softened some of their positions on, it's getting bigger. They're talking about it all the time. I mean, there's just shows on TV now that are nothing but wagering. So that's what we look at when we go into it a little bit on the picks we're making. But we want to caution you that, put a little bit on who we pick to win, because that's obviously enormous odds. But it's very difficult to pick winners in golf straight out from a Wednesday. But guys we've had great success at top 10s, and we've had great success top 20s, which are two of the areas that you can go on. And we always pick kind of a couple of long shots every week too, and they are the ones that do well with odds in top 10s and top 20s. So I just want to mention that as we go into our selections for this week. And as we said, a great event to watch just from the tension that's going to happen around guys you normally don't even see on TV. So they could be at 40th place and still mean something to them this week.
That's what I mean. Like, you'll get everything's important. Like, the last guy to make the cut. To make the cut could decide a guy's future. But, you're right. Our betting has been very good, and people are really into it. It's becoming very mainstream now. Like you said, the golfers are talking about it, and it's a very popular way to help grow the sport. Truthfully, it's one of the reasons why football is as big as it is. So golf, though, yes, you got to look at really the other bets other than simple winning bets. Top 10, top 20, like you said. Even top countryman has been very popular.
Yeah, that's one that we've done well.
You can get sometimes like top rookie, top veteran, under 25.
Yeah, lots of options.
So take the guys we pick and then find those interesting categories where they are going to have even a better chance to win than necessarily winning the tournament. But we've had some good success.
Made our most money at the British Open by picking Tiger and Phil
to miss the cut,
and Rory to miss the cut. Yeah. We made all our money there. So there's lots of weeks you can look at those kinds of things happening as well. But I wanted to make sure that people understood that when we're giving you the picks, very difficult. I mean, what's the number one guy? Got 3 wins this year. So even the top guys in the playing on tour, it's just tough to win on tour. So look at other options, but take them for that win, because I did pick one full winner, which was like 35-1 earlier in the season. So
you hit on Ches Reavie.
Yeah, so he might have been more than 35. I gotta think about it, maybe 100-1. So it's worth getting a couple bucks on that, but look at other options around that. So anyway, let's get our picks. I'm going to let you go first here, Joey. And go ahead.
All right,
and show us what you got.
If we're gonna name the players we got, what position they're in the FedEx Cup as well. Typically, it's not someone actually on the borderline that ends up winning these events. It's obviously a very difficult week for them. They probably don't hit the right shots in order to win because obviously they don't got to finish a certain spot to make the FedEx Cup. So even if they're close, you might see them play a little bit safe. You might be wondering why. Well, unfortunately, they don't really need to play to win the event sometimes, and sometimes they can work on finishing in the top 5 or top 10.
Right.
So if they're in like second place, they're really focused on that. So what you find is veterans, guys you hear a lot of that actually end up still winning this event because they are, in theory, better than most of the players in this event. Also, they're typically comfortable with their FedEx Cup positioning.
And a couple of rookies have won as well, or at least young guys have won. So
yeah.
It's kind of typical of an off week. You're either getting a youngster coming in, or you're getting one of the guys 3 and plus who is the best of that field, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I got Luke List to start. Luke List had a good year. He really had a strong beginning of the season. You heard his name a lot.
Yeah.
He's kind of fallen off a tiny bit here,
yeah.
But very good player. Drives at a freaking mile, like 340. It's ridiculous. So a good driving week for him. Is expected. Good iron play expected. Really comes down to, can he have a good putting week? I think he can. I think he should go into this week assuming that he's better than 90% of this field, which he is just by natural talent.
Right.
The big names aren't there. So this is a good chance for him to have a good finish and possibly a win. Luke List, very impressive stuff. Like I said, great ball striker and really just needs a good putting week. But I think going into this week, if he needs any confidence, it's the fact that, hey, really this field is weak for what I believe he could do. So this might be a chance for him to get his first PGA Tour victory. He's been close a lot this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Jordan Spieth. Why not? I mean, really, he's easily the most talented out of this bunch.
Well, he's your Tony Finau of mine. You're going to keep picking him until he wins.
I'm going to. I want to be clear. I've been a Spieth fan since the beginning.
But since the start of 2 years since he won.
I've been sticking with him even through his struggles. I just believe he's meant to be so much better, and he's going to continue. And once he finds it, I just feel like he's a guy. Once he finds it, I mean, watch out. His putter is insane right now. Like he's making
he can't hit the ball in the fairway. You must go back.
No,
to
but how many professional
Christ.
golfers would take the fact that they have one club that's struggling, and as soon as he figures it out, man, you just wait. He's gonna go off the rails and win like 6 times in one season. I guarantee it. Anyways, I think this might be a boost for him. I think he's playing it to get an extra boost going to the FedEx Cup. I think obviously he wants to get close to the top 30. He's already in the top 70, but I think he'd like to move up. And
he hasn't played this event in 6 years, so he's serious.
And was runner-up, though, by the way.
Yeah.
So he likes the course. He's serious about this. He wants to get near the top 30 so that the first week of the FedEx Cup he may even take off. I'm not sure his plans yet. But I definitely think that's a thing that if he got like to top 30 with a good finish this week, he would sit week 1 of the FedEx Cup, come back week 2 and week 3.
Yeah.
And do that. But I think he's just looking for a chance to win. He's obviously the most talented, most accomplished player in this field. So I am next going to go with Nick Watney.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah. And he's one of those guys that had a stretch of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Was very impressive. Almost won a bunch of majors, won a WGC event. Had a lot of good finishes, a good game. Great ball striker. Actually had a lot of injuries. I believe he had injuries due to a car crash. I sometimes get mixed up. A lot of these golfers have had these weird injuries outside golf life. I think he was one of them. If not, he might have been one of the ones who just had a back injury after all these years of playing golf, obviously. Regardless, he was always very talented, and now he's back in a good position here. By the way, Luke List is 86 in the FedEx Cup, Spieth 67. Watney 94th, so he needs a good week here, but he should qualify no matter what.
Yeah.
But he'd like a good week to get near the top 70. Why is that important? Because after the first week of the FedEx Cup, they cut the top 70. So he's looking to take advantage of a week where he should feel pretty at home with the field.
All the guys in that 70 to 100 position, a win could change everything for them.
Yeah, it automatically gets them to the Tour Championship, gets them into so many other things as well. But more importantly,
moves them up.
Gives them 3 more weeks of their season for tons of money at stake. So Nick Watney, I think, could have a good week here. Lastly, I'm going with Victor Hovland, guys. And why him? Well, you've seen his counterparts, Matt Wolff and Colin Morikawa, both get their wins. They've got status. He does not, which is funny because at the U.S. Open, it was all about him.
Player,
And everyone goes like, he's the guy, and he's a better player, and he's the one, and he's the man. Blah, blah, blah. And then Matt Wolff comes out and wins, and Colin Morikawa comes out and wins. And now he doesn't have enough points to keep his card for next season. Yeah. He's going to have to go to the Corn Ferry Tour Finals unless he has a magical week this week, which I believe would have to be a top 5 in order for him to keep his card. Otherwise, he's going down to the Corn Ferry Tour Finals to get his card for next year. But I just think it's funny. You know, he was at the U.S. Open. All the talk was him. And then Matt Wolff comes out and wins. Colin comes out and wins. So does that mean it's his turn now? And, you know, 3 for 3. Why not? I see
another off week. So
another event that, like, is a Matt Wolff.
That's how those other two guys won.
That's how they get their wins. And that's how they're supposed to get their first wins, you know? And move on. And they're in their early 20s. So is it 3 for 3? Will he be the last one to do it? Get a win this week, and all three of them keep their cards, and maybe we got a trio
hard to argue
going
with.
forward. I think he's going to have a good chance. Like I said, hard to argue with. Be interested. I'm going to follow him real close this week. He needs a big week to keep his card. Yeah,
he does for sure. And so like we mentioned off the top of the show, there's been a lot of veteran winners of this event. There's been a couple. Patrick Reed was a rookie when he won. Spieth was 20. It was 6 years ago, so he would have been like 20 at that point when he finished second.
It was the year he won the John Deere.
So some of the young guys win here, and some of the veterans win. So I'm going. Pardon the glasses. I have no choice but to put these on when I'm reading some data for you. But I'm looking at some guys that I think I'm going on momentum. I'm very much a momentum player. I think golfers have momentum and they lose it. They have confidence and they lose it. And I'm a big player of that movement in golfers. And so I'm looking at Martin Laird as one of my picks. Joe, remind me of his positioning here in the FedEx Cup.
116.
116. 116 is a tough spot, as I mentioned. You got to get in the top 70 to get past week one. A win would elevate him almost to that level.
Just making it.
So I think he's here, but he's pretty safe getting into the FedEx Cup, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So he can really take a shot. But he also has had 2 top 10s here coming in. So again, a momentum player. Guy's playing well right now. And greens and regulation, he's one of the best on tour right now, 10 in the last little while. He's also 7 of 8 cuts at the golf course they're playing at. So we talk horses for courses. I mean, obviously it's our horse racing reference, but guys who play well at certain courses, he's one of those. So I'm looking at Martin Laird as one of my picks to do well this week. And then Joey, my other ones from last week, Billy Horschel, who, man, I had him last week, and the way he started, I thought, holy crap, I'm going to get massive odds on him. And he hung in there top 10, I believe. I remember 9th, I think. So Horschel's there. He's had a career high 12 top 25s this year. He was tied 9th at Southwind. And he also has a good record where we're going. And again, I just mentioned that. I believe in guys play good golf courses well. He had tied 5th in 2016. He had tied 11th in 2018. Playing pretty good golf right now. So I'm on the momentum of Billy Horschel there. Those are kind of my notes I'm taking offline, to be honest with you guys. That helps me in my research. So, but Joey, give me my other 2 picks.
We had Horschel, by the way, who's 47 in the FedEx Cup. So again, another guy doesn't have to worry. Really just focus on getting himself a better position come the FedEx Cup.
And he's been close enough lately,
so too. There's that. By the way, he has won a FedEx Cup from the 70th
Oh,
position,
my God,
so
yeah.
He knows how to get it done. You also had Wyndham Clark,
which is
88.
I announced Wyndham on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm doing it almost because of Cosmos. Wyndham winning the Wyndham. I can already see the 3 W's on the newspapers on Monday morning. Wyndham wins Wyndham. And I'm not doing that as a joke. I mean, I think he's 88.
88, so that's a good season.
So he's got to get to that 70th position. So this is a big week for him. He was very close on the week that Wolff won. He was 3rd or something like that. So he's playing good golf coming in. A kind of guy needs to control his emotions a little better. And,
he's fired.
But he's right there at 88. This is a big week for him. It's an off week. We've talked about off weeks, and they seem to get won by young guys or old guys, and that's what I think we have again this week. I think he's got a real shot.
I'll help you out there too, by the way, top 10 putter. So
so
really, if he has a good ball striking week, another poor driver of the golf ball. So if he has a good ball striking week, he could easily be there.
So that's what I'm looking at with Wyndham.
Your last one, who's just really trying to make it, which is Aaron Wise, 120.
Yeah. Aaron, really, I haven't studied Aaron a whole lot. I just remember a couple weeks ago hearing his name again.
Well, at the U.S. Open, through 3 rounds, had a chance.
Was right there.
Shot like 80. I'll help you out here. He does have a win, so he doesn't actually lose his status or his card because he has a win from last year.
But he really needs to move up.
But he was Rookie of the Year last year, and this is the sophomore jinx. We worked so hard to get there. It's easy once you win Rookie of the Year, get a win, to just go
gas pedal.
Thank God. And then you don't focus, and you don't play as hard, and you maybe don't try as hard, and you take a few more extra vacations. I think
it's getting down to the end of the year.
It's getting down to the end of the year.
He's playing better, and that's what I like. I like that momentum.
He's 120th. I think he'll easily qualify. I think he'll have a good week, like you said. That's why you picked him. But 21 years old, so we'll see what he can get.
Yeah, and there you go, guys. That's my picks for this week. A lot of momentum guys that are a little bit back. Know they have to get in the top 70. I mean, obviously they can make the first week off 125, but really you want to make yourself safe and get inside that top 70. This is the kind of week to do it. It's going to be tougher to do this as we get into the FedEx Cup, obviously, because the top 25 or 30 positions are already spoken for by a lot of great golfers. So
and they're
it's
playing
difficult
every week too, so they're stealing spots from you.
Yeah, it's difficult to do that. So this is the week to do those kinds of things. That's what you're getting from me. It's all momentum players, guys that are kind of rounding into form here. That are back a little bit because I like the pressure. I like to see guys, we talk about this all the time. People think it's easier to play with no pressure. It's actually easier to focus, easier to be determined when you have pressure. And that's why I think some of these guys might play better and the momentum coming in, they're already hitting the ball better. So I like all of that as a mix, and those are my picks for this week. We'll see how that goes. Thursday, obviously, it's going to be one to watch every day this week. I'm kind of a Thursday, Friday, I'm kind of hit and miss whether I watch or don't watch. It's early. But this week you'll see guys up and down. It doesn't matter. This is almost like an F1 race. The battle's actually almost better in the middle than it is at the top.
I'll tell you one thing.
Because all the top guys are
like
already
Aaron
in,
Wise
right?
at 120. If he just misses the cut, he cannot control his destiny.
Yeah.
And stuff like that's very interesting. So Thursday, Friday golf definitely should intrigue you a little bit there too. There's going to be a lot of guys that if they don't make the cut, their season's already done.
Yeah.
I know
the cut Friday will be huge.
There's a couple Canadians who are on the bubble. Stage one guys making the cut and getting to the weekend, actually controlling your chances. I mean, right now, if you're over 125, you miss the cut, you're done. So
we actually have 4 Canadians from 100 to 125. It's funny how they're all packed in there.
Ben Silverman, though, man, he's at 180. He's got to have a monster week.
Now, we do have some great Canadians as well. Hadwin, 41st. Hadwin, man, we call him the ATM in Canada. We're not the only ones. I don't know who coined it, but every week he's there, but he never wins. But it gets a 41st in the FedEx Cup. It's amazing. He always got to go up 11 spots to play in the final event. So good for him. Corey Connors had a good year, but he's kind of disappeared. I haven't heard Corey's name.
I mean, that's what happens when you win. It happens.
Yeah, a little bit of relaxation. So hopefully he can come back with a big week because he's sitting in a really nice spot right now that he could move up with a good week.
Now he's comfortable in the FedEx Cup right now. Actually, I think he's probably comfortable even in the top 70. I think he's around 60th.
But with these guys, got to get top 30. It drops off real quick.
You got to get top 30, yeah, I know. But
40
I
guys
just think
are gone.
that, in his position, it's obviously, very tough. He's going to get a couple weeks here at the FedEx Cup. I think, but he could easily have a good week. Obviously, it's type of event where he should have more of an advantage because obviously he's one of the topper younger players. But he could easily get it going in the FedEx Cup too. I'm not too worried about him. I'm also not too worried about him really going into the future. He's really got a strong game.
A solid player,
and when he won, I just think, like I said, I can just imagine the relief you must get. Yeah. Like I truly couldn't believe the relief you must get. You know what?
So. They got to be. If you can't get primed for the FedEx Cup, you're not going to be a great player.
I'm just saying. I think he is. Like once he won,
but he needs to do it this week. He needs to get in there and get points and get closer. It's going to be tougher and tougher. And if you can't focus on an off week and you're in the position he's in. You got to question the longer term ability.
What's funny is actually you're better if you get a top 10 FedEx Cup event. You actually get so many extra points. It's easier to move up once you're in the FedEx Cup because of the amount of points they add to these events. So it's kind of like the playoffs, right? Sometimes people say the hardest thing is just to get in the playoffs, and when you get in the playoffs, now you get to play one team and move up and win. Well, kind of in golf, what they do is because there's so many points, is like let's say you just get in at 70th. Well, really a top 10 this week it might move you up to 60th. But really a top 10 in the first week of the FedEx Cup, which is harder, but the points are so much higher that actually all it takes is one good finish, and you're in the top 30 all of a sudden with one good top 10. So I think
agree. But you know what?
It's important just to get there and get ready to
go.
but
you're thinking on a minimalist view here. This is the week you can make some moves because the top 40 guys aren't playing. I mean,
no, but there's not a lot of points.
I know, but you know what? You can't go into the FedEx Cup thinking you're going to be the top 30 if you can't beat this crowd this week. Like,
well, Billy Horschel won from 80th.
There's exceptions to everything.
We know golf is.
I know that Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback draft in the 6th round, but that isn't usually where they come from. And the FedEx Cup, if you go and look, Horschel's the only one to win from that kind of distance away. So yes, it can happen. But you know what? If you want to prove yourself, if you can't get in this week when it's really big, and you can move from 70 to 60 or Hadwin from 41st to 30th by winning this week and really make yourself comfortable, then you know what? It's going to be a struggle to do that when the top 30 head back into the field starting next week. So
also next week we'll touch on the part. I'm interested to see how many guys sit out this first week. I think it's going to be
all sat out this week. I can't believe it.
Interesting discussion. I think you'll see out of the top 20, I think you'll probably see about 8 guys sit out, to be honest with you. Five guys probably at the least. I think.
How many weeks off do these guys need? They're missing this week. I mean, holy crap. Go home and sleep.
Trust me.
You got to play the first week. There's not 4 weeks. You got to remember.
Well,
last year there was 4 weeks.
That's true.
You can sit out week 4, no problem.
Yeah, that's
But now,
true.
you mentioned the points.
That's true.
I mean, if you're on the bubble of top 30, you could have a bunch of guys pass you in the first week. These guys, I believe we will see the full crowd.
Well, that's why they did it. I mean,
they have an injury,
that's why they made it 3 weeks. They try to do that. I'm just saying, I feel like these guys. I'm just saying, if like Brooks is a little hampered, I just think he might take that. Well, he's a player though. He plays a lot.
Play.
I mean,
they all gonna play.
It is only 3 weeks. I forgot about that. It's just a schedule. Smart decision. That's why they did it though, is to get everyone to play.
Yeah.
Because last year I think you had 8 guys.
That's why they're all taking this week off.
Sit off. Well, they always take this week. Yeah.
But they don't take 2 weeks off before major tournaments to play. So anyway, I think next week we'll see them all. This week, if you want to show your medal, if you want to show that you're any good at all, and that you could come from 70th or 80th like Horschel did, takes a shit lot of luck to as well. But if you want to show that you can do it,
3 weeks in golf decides your whole entire career.
Yeah.
If you can be one of those guys, you can do what Horschel did, which is take an average career and make it arguably really, really good, maybe possibly great if he does something again later in his 30s here. But that's the type of opportunity the FedEx Cup provides, just like playoffs in NDSC Sport, to be the 8th seed and go win a championship. FedEx Cup, as much as I'm kind of the guy who goes, well, you work all the season, that's why they had to give a regular season award. Because, now they get the guys to try the regular season, but it gives the opportunity of the playoffs, like every other sport, to be a nobody and go on to really win the title. And so, hey, we all know in golf, we've mentioned a gazillion times on our show, 3 weeks changes your life. Yep. Can someone find these 3 weeks in these 3 most important weeks left? Maybe starting right now. Maybe a guy who was a top 10 or a top 20 this week flies in the FedEx Cup harder than all these top guys. We'll see. Exciting week in the WYNDHAM. Lots of bubble boys, lots of anxiety, lots of emotions. Possibly bring out the tears if you're a guy who makes or doesn't make it. It's going to be a crazy week at the WYNDHAM. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and you'll see guys moving up and down. Take a look up if you haven't watched in the past. In the left-hand corner, they'll have where he is, a projection based on where he is in the tournament, and that changes. It's shocking to see a guy go from like 100th to all of a sudden he's 115th based on a couple of strokes being made. Man. We know this from the pro events. One stroke, you think of it as nothing, but every week you look at it, you could lose to Brooks by 2 strokes. Only 2 strokes every day, and you lose by 8 strokes at the end of the tournament. People don't realize how close you are to that and how far away you are to that at the same time, right? And what's funny is that, I think that's why Brooks is so great, is that he actually doesn't win many days by 6 or 8 shots. I find those guys go 8 shots and then they shoot even. I think the key Brooks has figured out is he wins tough events because he goes consistent and he goes like 4 under every day. You think of most of his events are that way. That's why I don't think he actually wins regular season events. He blames it on practicing. I think it's because guys go crazy low in regular events, and he's building his game towards big events. But you're right, it is crazy. You can lose by 2 and lose by 8 shots through 4 days. We know what it means. Everyone should know what it means. I know what it means. Just look at the money chart every week. 30th to 20th is so much. First to second is half the purse, or half the winnings of the first place guys. So, and this week, man, it's all about the points. All about the points. And coming into Sunday, whether or not the event's close, which we hope we finally get one, is going to be storylines left, right, and center. And it's going to be a fun week as fans. Emotional week for golfers. Lots of anxiety. I don't think a lot of them will get many sleep. And we'll see who wins. We will. It should be a great event. Look forward to it. Watch it all 4 days. I think you'll enjoy it this week. And we'll be back Saturday with our cut show, as we always are. And maybe new picks. We'll be, and maybe new picks. It is a bit of a risk on these off weeks, right? We talked about the British Open the same. Well, we didn't take the favorite. It's really tough. We didn't go to the favorite. Yeah, Webb Simpson's, he's been playing really great too. And a veteran, all those kinds of things. But we did look for some guys, some nuggets of guys that are playing well and might be the guy you can get a really long shot, 100-to-1 odds on these guys where they're ranked. So anyway, we'll see what that looks like. We'll be back Saturday morning with the Cut Show. And good luck and enjoy watching.